Hey guys, it's Bridget, and welcome to this episode of 1122, which actually is going to be episode 14, and it's the end of this season. So I'm excited to celebrate 14 episodes of my podcast that have really helped me grow, and I hope they've helped you grow too. So this particular episode, the very last one of this season, is really going to help bring all of the pieces together so that you can see the steps, the growth, and the process of changing your thoughts into action. And that's really overall what I wanted to really get across to you guys is that, you can become, you can dream, but if you don't put the work in that's required, things will always be the same. So you can talk about what you want to do, you can have all these great ideas, but if things never get put into action, they will always just be an idea. So I encourage you today to listen to this episode. And I've got a couple things I want to walk through. So I wanted to start outside because it's just a beautiful day. And sometimes you just have to do things differently in order to get a new result. So here I am outside. Some of you may know I'm moving soon, and it's just really surreal. I'm moving in probably almost a week and a half, and I'm looking forward to closing this chapter and starting new. And that's really kind of a reference that I've been using for this podcast, because change comes when you change. And the only way you can change a lot of things is by deleting things that you no longer need, whether that's items, habits, people. There's so many different situations, but it's mostly revolving around the fact that we have to grow as individuals, as adults. And the other day I was talking about discipline, and you have to be disciplined as a child. Our parents raised us, or your grandparents, or whomever was the adult in your life at the time as when you were young. I know we got the belt. We got whoopings. We got, not only just like time out, but things taken away, privileges taken away. And as adults, we don't do that as much anymore. We usually kind of just like something happens and we just kind of scrape it under the rug, or we tend to make light of it or make it funny, or just accept, well, that's just how I am. I make these mistakes. But you know what? It's more important to grow from your mistakes. And that's what we talked about last week on episode 13 about your mistakes make you who you are. So own them. Don't be apologetic for them. Just try to grow from them. And that's the only way that you get to the next level, is the way that you handle things when you do make mistakes. And this season of 1122 really talked about birth. Is my birthday, and it's talking about celebrating life and the reason why you're alive and the reason why you are here, so that you can try to identify what your purpose is in life. We all have something unique to us that has been instilled in our spirit, in our body, in our mind, that we are capable of doing in this lifetime. And it's important to really pay attention to that. Otherwise, you're going to go year after year, day after day, minute after minute, doing the same thing and never really tapping into your purpose. And I'm excited because purpose for me is very important. And at 46, I'm really just embracing my purpose. And my purpose for now, because I'm sure it will evolve into something bigger than I've ever even thought of, is to help support people and encourage others to believe in themselves, and especially when there's times when you don't think anyone does. And I think that's why it's important to me, because there's been times where I thought, you know what, I am like all alone in this. And there's been times that I think no one believes in me, but there's always been the trust and the faith that I can do it. And if you believe you can do it, you have to take it to the next step and do the work. Put in the action, make things happen, make mistakes, grow, and become and evolve into who you are and the best version of you. So that's all I got for right now, because we're going to go inside and talk about the rest of the podcast, because I want to kind of map out how things formulate in the process, because it's not really about just chit-chatting, but it's really about understanding each level and each step of the process so that you can be the best you and live the best life you like. So let's go inside. So if you remember episode 1, we pushed past our limits, and that's acknowledging where you are in life today. And then episode 2, the hurry up and wait. The meantime is so difficult to just really learn to wait. And then in episode 3, we talked about how failure is guaranteed, and you have to expect to fail because that's how you learn and bounce back. Episode 4, there's no competition. So look at everything you're doing for yourself and your business as a unique responsibility. Episode 5, what's holding you back and why are you hiding behind yourself? And then episode 6, start thinking differently. Change your mindset. That was really important. And you can't go anywhere until you do so. Episode 7, you must do the work. Stop talking about what shoulda, coulda, woulda been done and what you're going to do and start working. And then Nike that shit. Just do it, guys. You have to be ready and prepared each day to do the work so you can see the results that you want. And then don't be afraid because things might get delayed, but that does not mean it's not going to happen. So stay focused. And then, of course, the very next episode is if you can't handle the insanity, you got to get out the kitchen. It's definitely going to happen. And then everything's not so simple. If you can't balance all the things that life requires you to do, you have to break some things down and make it simple. And then get uncomfortable. You are too comfortable for way too long, and now it's time to embrace that uncomfortable setting and fly. And then, of course, the last week we talked about making mistakes. Yeah, that was not fun. Okay, so that was just a rundown of the last 13 episodes of 1122. And I'm super excited to bring this season to an end. It's season 2. Going into season 3, I have some really special things I want to share with you so that you can see the work. We talked a lot about doing the work in all of these episodes, and the work is required, guys, and you cannot get around it. Like there's no coupons. There's no homeboy to call and say, hey, can I get a hookup? You have to do the work, period, point blank, end of story. And the work is the fun part. I mean, it's blood, sweat, and tears work. You will want to scream and shout, like in a sad, happy, ugly cry kind of way. But that's the most amazing part of growing. Like I always think about the butterfly and how in the cocoon, you just have no clue what is happening. You don't know why you're in there. You don't know what's happening. You're squished, just uncomfortable. You just want to die. Things are just not like they used to be. Everything has changed. And then and then you fly away. Listen, guys, be prepared to fly. Be prepared to take flight, because when I tell you, as soon as you go through all of these steps, you will see the blessings starting to happen. You will see things start to change. You will see change in yourself, which is the most rewarding thing I can ever tell you about. When I see, I promise you, I just like tears just start getting in my eyes and I get excited. I do my little happy dance, and it is just like, I just feel so blessed to be able to acknowledge when I've overcome something that used to weigh me down, something that used to stress me out, cause anxiety, to make me really waste days and time doing nothing, worrying, stressing. Now it's time for action. And you will not be disappointed with season 3. So stay tuned. It's coming up probably in May. Who knows? You might have to wait a little bit for this one. I've got some things happening that in the meantime will keep you entertained, but stay tuned for season 3 coming in May. And I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to the Creative Vibe Studios, 1122, season 2, and go be great, guys.